So it's asking you, which one of these symbols do we put in there? So again, we'll do it both ways. Find the least common denominator. So I have 14 here over 20 and 3 over 10. What's the smallest denominator both of these fit into? 20. So how do I get 20 over here? So I can multiply top and bottom by 2. Once you get the common denominator, just compare the numerators. So the answer is greater than. Or we could do the second method. This number times that, this number times that. It's called cross multiplication. So 14 times 10. Whenever you have a number that ends in a 0, just multiply the number from it. So 1 times 14 is what? And just put 1 0 behind it. 3 times 2 is 6. Put a 0 behind it. What number is bigger? And there you have it. So again, you can use either method because all it's looking for is the inequality. Yeah, there's 2 options. Okay, question number 5. True or false? The question for is, does the left side equal the right side? What do you do with this exponent? No, how do you mean multiply? You're yes, you're right. It has to go inside the parentheses. But how do you mean multiply? Now, what this is an exponent. It has to remain an exponent. So what we do is just put it on top of these guys inside the parentheses. So it's 1 squared, 12 squared. What does 1 squared mean? 1 times 1. What is 1 times 1? 1. 12 squared means 12 times 12. What is 12 times 12? So this equals that. So it's true. So that's a property of exponents. It says if I have no fractions, yeah, fractions. If I have a fraction raised to a power, I can distribute that power to every number inside the parenthesis. Just take this and put it on top of each one. Okay, number 6 is 3 over 7 to the third. So this means 3 times 3 times 3. This one means 7 times 7 times 7. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 7 times 7 is 49. 49 times 7. 343. So do 49 times 7. Again, try not to use calculators. You don't need it because you can do this pencil and paper. You have to practice your skills. The reason you have trouble with the math multiplication skills because you depend on a calculator way too much. Just use your calculator to check your answers. 9 times 7 is what? No. 63. Again, remember the hand thingy? Hold your fingers up, put down your 7th finger. You got 63. You see how that works? So that's again, anytime you deal with 9, just use your fingers. It's much easier. Hold them up, put down whatever number you're multiplying by. So this is 63. Put a 3 here, and a 6 there. 7 times 4. 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus 6. So the answer is, how do I know I can't simplify that any further? If I could have, I would have done it here. Or I would have done it here. You never multiply until everything that cancels is canceled. If I can cancel in here, I would do that first. In other words, let's say I had 12 over 15 to the 3rd. Can anything simplify in there? What is 12 made up of? 12 is made up of 4 times 3 or 6 times 2. 4 is made up of 2 times 2. So it's 2 times 2 times 3. What is 15 made up of? Can anything cancel? So we have 2 times 2 is 4 over 5 to the 3rd. Since nothing else cancels, once I do this, four times 4 times 4, 5 times 5 times 5, nothing cancels. Once I multiply these, I'm done. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4. 6 times 4 is what? 24. So put 4 there. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2. So it's 64. 5 times 5 is 25 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. There's your final answer. So whenever you're dividing, never multiply until you're canceled everything you can. Okay, it's an order of operations question. This is number 7. Okay. Order of operations. What's the first thing you do in order of operations? special operations, brackets, parentheses, exponents, square roots, absolute values, everything else. Do special things first. So are there any of these here? Exponent. So we do that first. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. What is 2 times 2?
4.
Times 2 times 2. Okay, we've done this. Now, second, do we repeat the process? Are there any special operations? But can we do anything inside the parentheses? No, so that's done. Next, we do multiplication, division. Are there any multiplications or divisions here? Yeah, here's multiplication right here. 3 times 4 is 12. Are there any special operations? No. Are there any multiplication, division? No. Then we do addition and subtraction from left to right. 16 minus 12. Again, keep away from those calculators because you should be able to do these in your head. This part, like 16 minus 12, you should be able to do that in your head. And that you used to in elementary school until the calculators took over in high school. So keep on practicing. If it takes you 5 minutes, so be it. It takes you 5 minutes. But you did the work, not a calculator. All right. 9 times 4 to the power 2 minus 54 over 9. Order of operations. First thing is special operations. Are there any parentheses, brackets, absolute values, exponents? Now, here's exponent right here. 4 to the power 2. It has 4 times 4. Yeah, so 4 times 4 is 16. Are there any special operations? No. So next we do, are there any multiplication or divisions? Yeah, reading left to right, we have a multiplication. So 16 times 9. 6 times 9 is 54. Use your fingers if you have to. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 5. So it's 144. Any special operations? No. Multiplication, division. Right here. Now, doing division with whenever you divide by 9, just do it backwards. Make 54 with your hands. 5, 4. What fingers put down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th finger is put down. So that means this number is 6. So on your hands, make 54. So it's 5 and 4. This number, this finger's put down. So that means 54 divided by 9 is 6. If I gave you 72 divided by 9. So 7 and 2. So what finger is put down? 8. So 72 divided by 9 is 8. Any special operations? No. Multiplication, division? No. So all we have left is subtraction. 144 minus 6. Because we need 4 from there and then 2 left over. So the answer is 138. Okay, number 9. Three over 5 to the power 2 times 25. I'll show you 2 ways of doing this one. It'll make it a lot easier for you. What would be the first way? If you saw this, what would you do first? Exponent. So I do this first. That means I got to do what first? Yeah. I distribute that to both of those. So it's 3 times 3 times 3. Oh, that's supposed to be. That's up 23s. Well, 5 times 5. Is it 2? Yeah. Since there's no addition subtraction here. Since there's no addition subtraction. What's 25? That's written as 25 over 1. What's 25 made up of? So we have 3 times 3 times 5 times 5 over 5 times 5. Can anything cancel? So the answer is, since there's nothing on the bottom, there's a 1. So it's 9 over 1 makes it 9. Whenever you have multiplication or divisions only, you could just treat those all as one equation. You weren't having? You were not having troubles?
No, I was.
Okay.
At least I tried.
Oh, yeah. But you should, and when you get stuck, send me a remind message. Because it's no use getting stuck and having to wait until class to get unstuck. Like we notice here, also, there are no pluses and minuses. So it's all multiplication and fraction. So which means they're all on the same level. Okay, that one means 2 to over 2, 5 power 2. I got rid of the parentheses. What is 10 made up of? 2 times 5. So it's 2 times 5 times 2 times 2, 1 times 1. I don't need the ones I need. So 5 times 5. 2 times 2 times 2. Again, I don't need the ones, but they're always there. What can cancel? One of these twos, another 2, and another 2. All the 2s are gone. So as you go through each one by one, pair them off, one on top of the other. What else can cancel? A 5. So what's my final answer? What? Very good. I was afraid you were going to say 5. That's the most common mistake. Like if everything's gone on top, there's automatically a 1 there. This is the answer. Very good. Well, but whenever you cancel things, it goes in there one time. So you just have a whole bunch of 1s on top. Very good. That's that one. Yeah, I'm very glad you guys didn't get snagged with that. Okay, here we have addition and division. This is number 11.
Addition.
Inside the parentheses. No, it's an addition.
Oh,
No. That's these. I a lot of times
Wait. The first sign is what?
the division
Okay. And the second sign
is a plus.
Okay.
Oh, it is. Oh my God.
I couldn't see.
No, I know. No, I agree with you. It's very difficult to see these. A lot of times I have to go in there and
I'm for real one. Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
there.
It is division.
Division and addition.
It looks like a divisions for a second.
No, I agree with you. I do the same thing. I have to zoom in every time. Okay, so order of operations says do what first? We have to do inside there first. Well, can we do anything inside the parentheses?
Yeah.
What? Can we simplify anything?
Yes.
2 over 6. Yeah. 6 is made up of 2 times 3. So the 2's cancel. So that becomes 1 over 3. So this becomes this. We add fractions. It's a plus sign between there. 3 times 1, 2 times 1, 2 times 3. So we have 3 plus 2 over 6, 5 over 6. That's what goes inside the parentheses. Because that's what we did first. Do we need the parentheses? No, since there's nothing else we can do inside there, we can drop the parentheses. Now, what's the rule about fraction divided by a fraction? Leave the first one alone. Change the second one. And then flip this. Very good. And then flip. Before you multiply fractions, what should you always do? Before multiplying fractions, always reduce if possible. In other words, cancel anything top and bottom if you can. 7/3. 6 is made up of 2 times 3. So can anything on top cancel with anything on the bottom? The 3's. That leaves us with 7 times 2 on top and 5 on the bottom. Are we done? No, because it's improper. How many times does 5 go into 14? With how many left over? 5 times 2 is what? 10. So 14 minus 10, 4. And there is your answer. All right, so let's look at number 12. Ooh, it's pretty big. All right. 6/7 squared. And that's a division. First thing we do, which are exponents. So we do this first. So it's 6 to the power 2, 7 to the power 2. Write down everything else. And don't multiply these just yet. Well, we're going to have to. 6 squared is what? This is 6 times 6 is 36. 7 squared is 7 times 7 is 49. Okay, so we did the special operation first, so the exponents. Are there any other special operations inside the parentheses? We have to do that next. So 1/5 minus 30. It's a minus sign between there. 30 times 1 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5. And I subtract them. 30 times 5. 5 times 3 is with 1 0. So it's 150. So 30 minus 5 is 25/150. Do step by step by step. Repeat the process. Any special operations? Yes, parentheses. Can we do anything inside the parentheses? Yes, we can simplify. Because they end in a 5 and a 0, that means they have what in common? They have a 5 in common. So We know of 5. How many times is 5 going to 25? How many times does 5 go into 150? 5 goes into 15 3 times. 30 times. Okay, we simplify. Can we simplify any further? How many times is 5 going to 5? 5 goes into 30. So it's 1/6. Can we do anything inside the parentheses? So we don't need the parentheses. Are there any more special operations? Any multiplication division? Here's a division right here. So we have to do that next. So I'll leave the first one alone. Change that to multiplication. And flip the second one. So we have 36/49. Do the multiplication. Before you multiply fractions, what do you always do? Reduce. Can you cancel anything? Can anything on top cancel with anything on the bottom? The 6's cancel. So we're left with we could do the butterfly method here, but because the denominators are easy to get to, how do I get to 49 from 7? Multiply 7/7. So it's 36/49 minus 7/49. We have a common denominator. So 36 minus 7 is 36 minus 7. 36 minus 6 would be what? 30 minus 1. And there's your final answer. 29/49. Yeah. 29/49. That's your answer. Okay, those are the assignments from the last section. Let's see. Let's see what section 8.3 does. Access denied. That's interesting. We're going to see what section 8.3 is about. No, perimeter and area questions. Okay. Eight, three. So we're going to complete 8.3 today too then. Unfortunately, he's going to deal with a lot with word problems. I don't know how much you guys like word problems. Rectangles and squares. All right. Here we go. Chapter 8, section 3. Rectangles and squares. What's the difference between a rectangle and a square? All four sides are equal in length. That's a square. What's a rectangle? What is it? Two pairs of equal length sides not equal to the other pair of sides. So we have two sides that are the same length that are not the same length as the other two sides. So a square, all four sides are the same. All four sides are the same. Very important that all interior angles are 90 degrees. That's what this little box means. This box here means that it's 90 degrees. It's a perfect corner. It's also called a right angle. That's the first. We have two more words to define. Perimeter. What's a perimeter? External length of all four sides. Whereas perimeter is dealing with length. What's an area? So for a rectangle, let's say the lengths are like this. So the perimeter is X plus X plus Y, which is equal to 2X plus 2Y. Or 2 length plus 2 width. That's the formula for perimeter. Area. Amount of space contained within the sides of an object. So area is the amount of space inside an object. This is the length, this is the width. So the formula for the area is length times width. Even though squares and rectangles have the same formulas for both of these, because a square has equal length sides, the formula is more simplified. So for a square, perimeter is length times width. Since the length and the width are equal in length, in dimensions, we can just multiply 4 times the side of length. For a rectangle, it has to remain like this, since the length does not equal the width. Again, the perimeter is the outermost length of an object. That's the perimeter. Area of a square is length times width, but since the length equals the width, it's just the square of the length. These are actually just shortcuts. If it's too much of a bother, just stick with the traditional formulas and put them in there. It's just not going to change anything. It's just more of a shortcut. The area of a rectangle is the product of length times width. And unfortunately, I think most of these problems in your homework are going to be word problems. Okay, we have an object. What's the perimeter and what's the area of this object? So is it a square or a rectangle? Why? Yeah, the lengths are not the same. Don't ever trust a picture. Look at the numbers. So it's 2 times 10.5 plus 2 times 7. Whenever you multiply decimals, first thing you want to do, get rid of the decimal. Record how many spaces you move to get rid of it. Because then we'll put it back at the end. I had to move 1 space to get rid of it. So at the end, I got to put it back. So 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 1. 2 times 1 is 2. I got to put back that 1 decimal. So it's 21.0 or just 21 feet. Since we're dealing in dimensions, you have to put the units you're dealing with. So the answer of the perimeter is 21 feet. Oh, no, that's just for this first one. That's, and then 14 feet. 21 plus 14 is 35 feet. 35 feet. Because we have to put those units together. That's the perimeter. Now the area is the length times the width. So it's 10.5 times 7. 10.5 times 7. Again, same thing, move the decimal out. So we have 105 times 7. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 0 is 0 plus 3. 7 times 1 is 7. And I got to put the decimal back. But, okay, that's the easy part. What's the unit we're dealing with here? Y feet squared. It's not volume, it's area. It's area. Because what we have here is 10.5 feet times 7 feet. So it's 10.5 times 7 feet. These feet and these feet. So it's 73.5 feet times feet is feet squared. The answer is feet squared. What's that? There. Because these are two separate things. This is 10.5 feet, 7 feet. I can move them around. Have 10.5 times 7, and then feet times feet, since they're multiplied. So feet times feet is feet squared. 73.5. All right, let's look at another example. Okay. I have an object. I have 7 spaces here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 spaces here. Made up of blocks. How many blocks do I have? Why? So we're looking for the area inside this object. So we have length of 10 times the length of 7. We have 70 little boxes in there. Little spaces. That's what the area finds. It finds the amount of stuff inside the perimeters. All right, so that's area and perimeter of rectangles and squares. Now let's change the pictures. Okay. This is 9 feet, 9 feet, 12 feet, 12 feet, 1 feet, 21 feet. Find the area and the perimeter of this object. No calculators, put away. Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's look at what we have here. Whenever you can, make squares or rectangles. So if we just continue this here, we have a rectangle here and a square here, because that's 9 feet, 9 feet. So we know that this length is 9 feet. If this is 9 feet, remember the whole length here is 21 feet. If this is 9 feet, how long is this? It's got to be the same as this. And this whole length here is the same as this. So it's 21 feet. So we have two objects that we're looking at. We want to find out the area and perimeter of this object, the area and perimeter of this, and then add them together. This is the first object and this is the second object. So that's what we have to do. So break it down into smaller pieces and then add them together. So look at area of this bigger object. The length is 21 feet. The width is 12 feet. So we have 21 times 12. Two times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 2, 5, 2. So it's 252 feet squared. Because it's area. Areas and volumes have exponents. That's the big one. The small one is 9 feet by 9 feet. 9 times 9 is 81 feet squared. So the final total area, we have to add the two sub areas. So 252 plus 81. 333 feet squared. To find the perimeter, just go ahead and add the lengths of each side. Now, this whole length here is 21 feet. (42 plus 18 is 60. And the perimeter is 84 feet. What do y'all think? Pretty straightforward. It's just that you have to make sure you label each length of the object. But sometimes it'll omit some repeated numbers.
Is that 84?
84 is the perimeter of this entire object. The outer perimeter. You don't count this length here. Because it's only the outer distance. This is a perfect example of, let's say, when you get your house carpeted. The area will tell you the amount of carpet you need. And then the perimeter will tell you how much paint you would need. You know, you have 84 feet worth of paint space times 10 feet or 8 feet, or how tall your walls are. Now you know the area, and now you see how much paint it takes to cover a certain area. And that'll tell you how many gallons you need. This is what people should do before they start doing home remodeling, but they don't. They go out and start buying stuff and then. All right, so that does it for the DMAT or Basm 0053. That's the last section of the Basm. So go ahead and take the test of chapter 3 and this part of chapter 8. Take the final exam on it, and we'll start the other half of the course on Wednesday. All right, have a good day, everybody.